You and your neighbor could be paying different prices for the exact same groceries at the same store at the same time, not because of supply or demand, but because an algorithm thinks one of you will tolerate paying more. That practice is called surveillance pricing or personalized pricing, and it's already happening. Today, I want to show you what was uncovered, how it works, why companies are doing it, and what realistically people can do about it. Surveillance pricing is when companies use data about you, your location, your device, your purchase history, even your behavior, to quietly adjust prices on an individual level. This is not the same as normal dynamic pricing, things like surge pricing during a snowstorm. Surveillance pricing is based on who you are, not market conditions. Last week, a joint report from Consumer Reports, Groundwork Collaborative, and More Perfect Union looked at Instacart, one of the largest grocery delivery platforms in the US. Researchers helped different shoppers add the same grocery items from the same store at the same time and then compared prices. What they found raised serious concerns about how prices are being set. Here's a More Perfect Union clip talking high level about the investigation and what they discovered.
5 months of digging. What we found is bigger than Instacart. Yes, inflation is real, but something else has been pushing prices higher this whole time. There's a system, one that grocery stores and tech companies built together. It learns from every purchase.
It's not just online. It's in the physical stores you walk into, with the primary goal: maximize profit.
Day by day, it's moving billions of dollars, one penny at a time. The problem with testing any of this is that these systems are so massive that you need scale to even try. Consumer Reports joined the collaboration. They brought a volunteer network, community organizers, a reporter. Alongside them, we recruited volunteers, over 400 people. Same process. Everyone opens Instacart. Same store, same items. When pickup wasn't available, same delivery address. Same moment. Screenshot everything. Some people were charged about $114 for the 20 items. Others, nearly $124.
This wasn't in one or two cases. This was the lion's share of shoppers for the lion's share of items.
According to the findings, nearly 3/4 of grocery items were shown at multiple price points. Some items appeared with as many as 5 different prices at once, and some shoppers saw prices more than 20% higher than others for the exact same item, same store, same time. Across entire grocery baskets, those differences added up, in some cases translating into hundreds or even over $1,000 more per year for the same groceries. Instacart says prices are set by retailers and influenced by many factors, but what's missing here is transparency. This isn't just an Instacart story. It's a part of a larger shift. Companies moving from pricing based on markets to pricing based on individual profiling. The more data companies collect, the more precisely they can test what you will pay, quietly, invisibly, and at scale. And Instacart isn't isolated. Airlines have experimented with increasingly personalized fares. Rideshare platforms adjust price based on user behavior and demand patterns. Retailers are deploying AI tools marketed as revenue optimization, which often means extracting the maximum price from each customer. These systems aren't all identical, but they rely on the same idea, using data to test what individuals will tolerate paying. Different industries, same logic. And this isn't just coming from journalists or advocacy groups. In January 2025, the Federal Trade Commission released initial findings from its own study into surveillance pricing. The FTC found that companies are already using wide ranges of personal data, including location, browsing behavior, purchase history, and even how people interact with websites to set individualized prices for the same goods and services. The agency examined internal documents from intermediaries working with major retailers and found that these tools can tailor pricing based on detailed consumer behavior. In other words, this isn't hypothetical or fringe, it is already happening. Former FTC Chair Lina Khan has been warning about this for years.
When I was chair of the FTC, we launched an investigation into this shadowy world of surveillance pricing. Our initial findings revealed that retailers across many industries can use third-party data brokers to build a comprehensive profile on you. They can track your location, your race, your income level, your past online purchases, your browser history, even your mouse movements on a web page featuring a video just like this one. They can then use your personal data against you to predict what they call your pain point, or the highest amount of money that you're willing to spend on a particular good or service. It's when businesses use your personal data, including about whatever is happening in your life on any given day, to set whatever price they think they can get away with charging. Imagine you're a new parent and your baby is sick. A corporation could charge you a higher price for a thermometer or medicine because they know that a new parent will be more desperate. Or maybe a loved one dies and you need to travel on short notice. You could be charged more for a plane ticket if you got an email about funeral arrangements.
Here's the pattern. We now live inside systems that continuously observe and model human behavior. What people buy, where they go, how they scroll, how they respond to prices, across nearly every industry, often without meaningful awareness or consent. When companies have access to that level of behavioral data, pricing stops being about broad market signals and starts being about individual profiling. The question quietly shifts from what is it worth to how can this person be charged without noticing or pushing back based on personal history. And this only works if people cannot see it. Transparency would undermine the model because the moment consumers can compare, they can realize what's happening and then the leverage disappears. That's why surveillance pricing thrives in systems that are complex, personalized, and largely invisible, and why it's so often framed as innovation or dynamic pricing, rather than what it actually is, which is a data-driven reallocation of power. PBS NewsHour recently reported that personalized or surveillance pricing has quietly spread across multiple industries, from retail to travel to streaming services. According to PBS, companies increasingly use data like browsing behavior, device type, location, and past purchases to personalize prices, often without consumers realizing it. And because there's usually no single list price to compare against, most people never know it's happening until they compare across devices or accounts. For example, using a VPN, you're in one city, one state versus another state or another country. So what can people realistically do? This video that we watched earlier, again from Lina Khan.
It's already clear that businesses have the incentive and ability to unleash surveillance pricing. So what can we do to stop corporations from using our personal data to rip us off? As we recommend in the report, the FTC should continue to investigate surveillance pricing practices because Americans deserve to know how their private data is being used. You can also take steps to try to limit how much data firms can collect on you, including by regularly clearing your search history and cookies, or using a private browser or VPN.
So you can try using a browser instead of a mobile app when you shop online. Apps collect a huge amount of personal data about you. Browsers generally collect far less. Second, block third-party cookies in your browser. Those cookies are designed to follow you across sites and feed information back to companies that might use that information for personalized pricing. You can also use a VPN that can help you hide your IP address, which is one of the most revealing identifiers that sites use to build a personal profile of you. Finally, compare prices across devices and browsers. A price that looks higher in one context might be lower when you search from a different setup. And that comparison can reveal whether surveillance or personalized pricing is happening. So if you're looking on Booking.com or Airbnb, use a different browser, use a different computer, use your phone, try a VPN. None of these completely opt you out of data collection, but they can help reduce how much information companies can gather about you, which in turn limits how sophisticated the pricing algorithms can be. So this isn't about one app or one company or even one industry. It's about the fact that nearly every part of modern life now generates data: where you go, what you buy, how you behave online, and that data is collected by corporations, governments, and institutions across industries. Surveillance pricing is just one place where that reality becomes more visible, when profiling doesn't just influence what you see, but what you pay. And the more invisible that these systems become, the more important it is to understand how they work.